Well, we're going to finish on Discovery Plus with a new reality show that arrived on Monday the 24th of February. It's called The Baldwins. And here's a clip.
7 children, 6 animals, 2 parents. A wild family. Why are we eating chocolate? Get off your phone. Okay.
Don't be in that pool.
Gross. What's the matter?
Ow.
Happy face. A son lost his mom in the most unthinkable tragedy. This is never something to forget, and we're trying to parent through it.
Oh, Ian, where do I start with this one? Because this is just the most tone-deaf thing I think I've probably ever watched. It's been highly criticised, as you well know, generally, for the timing of this. So this was filmed 2 weeks ahead of the trial. So of course, Alec Baldwin was being questioned and had been arrested. He was up for, I think, manslaughter for the shooting on set, where he fired a gun that he didn't think was loaded. So this was done 2 weeks prior to that. So the question, I suppose, is why did they do it? They don't need the money. You'll clearly see that when you watch this. They live in an amazing New York apartment, which is absolutely, fabulous. And then they've got their Hamptons home. So this is not a financial thing, but presumably is a reputational thing. And trying to come over in a way that kind of restores arguably a dented reputation. Now, there's no discussion over the fact that it must have been absolutely harrowing for all of them, all concerned. But this just felt very, very tone deaf to me because actually it's a reality show. It's a fly-on-the-wall documentary about a very chaotic family. They have 7 children, 8 pets. They do have 2 nannies, although you only see a glimpse of one of them at one stage. And I think that's because they're trying to corral not only the children, but the cats and dogs into the car. And there was a main road, and I think they were just trying to stop the children from running into the road. But, that's the only time you saw that nanny. And it felt very shoehorned, the whole shooting situation just felt shoehorned in and uncomfortable, and this sort of moody music comes on and suddenly it changes from Hilaria being all gushing about Alec and him as talking about their children mostly and their life to suddenly talking about something that's incredibly sensitive. A woman's lost her life, a son has lost their mother, a husband has lost his wife, etc., etc., etc. So for me, it just didn't hit right. Don't get me wrong, as a reality show, it kept me watching. I was interested in their life, apart from anything, just wondering how on earth they cope. But I suppose they just have a load of help, is the reality of that. Although, again, as I said, you don't see it that much. But I just felt that it hit a really low point, if I'm honest with you, because there was one stage where, Alec talks about having PTSD after it all, which, he may well have done, of course. And Hilaria saying, I'm not saying people should feel sorry for us, because obviously there's much worse, and obviously, someone's lost their life, etc., etc. But it was a bit, well, why are you talking about it then? What are you feeling you're having to talk about this right now and justify your position? And they talked about how the children were they having to say a special goodbye to Daddy before he went to the court hearing, and they talked about the age. They talked about that she's come under a lot of fire for her Spanish accent. Is she really Spanish? Is she not? Why is it a weird accent? I thought that was a bit silly, really. She speaks quite competently in Spanish and clearly speaks to the children so that they're bilingual. But it kept me watching, Ian. I like reality shows, but for me, I just thought this is not great timing, if I'm honest with you. And if you're going to do something as serious as that, then at least give it a little bit more airtime than perhaps the maximum of 5 minutes it was given throughout this whole thing. I think it was about that anyway. What did you think, Ian?
Yeah, I agree with you. The timing is inappropriate, and the discussion of the shooting seems very kind of shoehorned in, which makes you wonder, as you say, what was the agenda behind this series? I do like Alec Baldwin, and there's certainly a curiosity value there because, well, obviously he's a massive star, he's rich, there's a big age gap between him and Hilaria, who, a lot of people accused her of being a gold digger, didn't they? He's an older dad because the 7 kids are pretty young. But it's relatively thin gruel, really. Episode 1, the kids go for a haircut, and then they try and get all the kids in the car to go for their holiday in the Hamptons. Very nice work if you can get it. And a lot is made of the fact he's got OCD, so having all those kids and all those pets is difficult for him because he likes everything to be ordered. But they have got 2 nannies. Come on. So yeah, I mean, I certainly didn't feel the need to watch any more, and there's something about it that just doesn't feel quite right, to be fair.